I can still remember how them butties used to taste so vile. And I knew if I had my van, then I could take my frying pan, and maybe the truckers would be happy for a while. But February made me shiver with every sandwich I deliver. Grease upon the worktop, I couldn't make one more stop. I can't remember if I cried when I chopped the onions and fried an egg with bacon on the side the day the snack van died. So bye-bye cheese and onion pie. Drove my bevies to the heavies, 'cause the heavies were dry. Them good old boys were drinking tea with a sigh, singing, this could be the day that I die. This could be the day that I die.
Hit it, guys!
Did you read the menu, love? And do you have faith in God above? If the health regulations tell you so, teach me how to make coleslaw. Well, I know that you're in love with ham, 'cause I saw you munching by girl who stank of booze, and I asked her if she'd any news, but she just burped and turned away. So I went down to the Asda store, where I'd bought some tea cakes years before, but the checkout girl said light refreshments just don't pay. And in the streets I started to scream, and then I cried, and then I dreamed. My van was now in Morecambe, it wasn't really broken. The three things I admire most, bacon, egg, and soggy toast, were now served up along the coast. The day the snack van died, and we were singing bye bye, cheese and onion pie. Drove my bevies to the heavies, 'cause the heavies were dry. Them good old boys were drinking tea with a sigh, singing this could be the day that I die.